research launch. We warmly welcome you all to this special research launch. So, we are eagerly looking forward to engaging with our esteemed resource person and exploring the art of writing a research article under his guidance. Without further ado, so let's dive into today's session. So, our resource person is Professor Mahesh Jayavira. So, warmly welcome to the research launch, sir. Professor Mahesh Jayavira earned his BSc in Civil Engineering from the University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka, and later he obtained a PhD in Environmental Engineering from Saitama University, Japan. He has rich academic background and has collaborated with over 10 countries, demonstrating a commitment to global knowledge exchange and cooperation. Currently, Professor Jayavira is a distinguished environmental engineering professor at the University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka. His dedication to the field of environmental engineering spans more than 3 decades, making him a renowned expert in the domain of environmental technology advances. As a prolific researcher, Professor Jayavira has explored diverse areas within the field and has made significant contributions, publishing more than 70 journal and conference papers. He has been involved with many academic groups imparting knowledge on AI architecture to enhance research outlook and effective delivery. As of today, the most cited high-impact international paper by any academic at the University of Moratuwa has been credited to him, and it has been prepared with the help of carefully drafted cards to all concepts. So, dear participants, dear researchers, colleagues, so research launch is open. Sir, so to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naini. I do believe that my voice is audible to all of you. I hope. All right. So thank you very much once again for entrusting me to do something bit controversial. I would say controversial. There have been 2 schools of thoughts saying that whether we should use ChatGPT for academic, the writing, or let's say manuscript preparation, or we should not. So therefore, my task today is to show you, how to do it by myself, and also you all are going to be part and parcel. So in other words, you are going to witness how it could be done. Right? It is true that when you are talking of ChatGPT, it gives you something called hallucination effect. It tries to, bring you something which is not real. So therefore, you don't know when you get the stuff which is hallucinated or whether they are going to be true and authenticate. So today, I'll be, navigating all of you as to how we should get rid of all this effect of hallucination. That is what I'm planning to do today with you all. And I start with data set, and I'll be letting you know how to prepare your paper, which is in fact up to the international high impact journal quality. Maybe y'all are still novices, but still you need 7 days. And if your supervisor, pressures you, don't tell them, but you can do it within 7 days. Right? For me, I can do it within 2 days. Now, you must be worried how I use this one, whether many say that this is not suitable. I followed a course by ChatGPT authorities itself. I got myself registered right long before, so I have been communicating with them. I'm getting basically, certain hints that you can get rid of this hallucination of it, right? So therefore, truly speaking, ChatGPT is meant to give everything accurate. But because of this legal issues, they may not be able to give you all what you ask for. Because there will be so many other, effects that would come to a, a propriety, or we call it, sometimes some people own a certain material. Without the permission, you may not be able to extract and give, right? Of course, referencing is important, but there are certain, the content that you cannot abstract and then present. So that has been the reason, for this ChatGPT authorities or the administration not to give you everything perfect, right? There are actually ways and means of doing it. Let's practice and see how you can do. But you can do this not with the ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is the what? Not the paid version. That is the universal version, free of charge, which I never ever recommend you to use. But what you should use is the paid version, which we call ChatGPT 4.0. So therefore, try to use ChatGPT 4.0, which is more accurate, more authenticate, and more recent. The ChatGPT 4 can be able to, grasp all the data that are basically input, until I would say yesterday. They can be able to, just fine. So therefore, their network is pretty good, and then they can be able to, recover, get hold of all what you require. So therefore, important thing is to use ChatGPT 4.0. Then the question is, how can I use the ChatGPT 4.0? I have not paid, so I don't have the paid version. But it's going to be monthly, I would say 6,000 rupees, $20. 6,000, but you don't need, each and every person to buy it. I mean, say, for example, if you are kind of, a group, one can buy, you can share the cost. But only thing is, at any given time, only one person should use. Now, say, for example, if you, let's say, two people, jointly, subscribe, and then both are used at the same time, you will be blacklisted. So therefore, better not to do it. They let you do for some time, but thereafter you are not supposed to, enter through that email. So therefore, it's very important for you to make sure that at any given time, only one person uses, and then say, for example, so what you can do, you can be able to share the time, and then you can be able to, now in my case, I have already subscribed so that I can be able to use 24 hours without paying. But there is a limitation. The limitation is, for a given hour, you can be able to do maximum 40 prompts. Later, I will let you know what a prompt is. Prompt is the message that maybe what you asked for is considered to be prompt. So for a given hour, 1 hour, the maximum number of prompts that you can give is 40. It has been limited even in this ChatGPT 4.0 paid version. So therefore, don't go and ask, answers which may say yes or no. No point. Right? So therefore, plan yourself before you use ChatGPT 4.0, and that would help you, that would yield you the maximum benefits. So that is what you should be able to do. And art of ChatGPT 4.0 is how you make use of, or how you input prompts. If you know how to input prompts, you will be getting 100% accurate results. So therefore, that is what I'm now going to, train with. And when you're looking at the ChatGPT 4.0, basically we say it just simplify, refine, and complete to get this flawless, let's say, manuscript. That is what the beauty of ChatGPT 4.0. All what I say is not applicable to ChatGPT. I'm not talking of ChatGPT, so never ever apply what I say to ChatGPT alone, because it is not the paid version. All what I do is with ChatGPT 4.0, right? And it says it revolutionizes the research writing process. Of course, you can be able to do. Design, simplify tasks, enhance clarity, and save time. That's why I say within 2 days, you can finish one page. right? Absolutely, your supervisor may not be able to find it, right? I'll give you the tips, but don't tell your supervisors. Then I'll be in trouble. Number 3, ideal for crafting impactful academic papers with minimal efforts. You can be able to save a lot of time. Say, for example, if you are knowledgeable enough, why spend too much of time? Some says that, okay, we need to, get that skill of writing, crafting manuscript. Yes, you need it. But your first language may not be English. Your mother tongue may not be English. So in that case, you strive hard to come out. Sometimes you're wasting time. So if you are not in a position to do it, you do by yourself, and at the same time, you make use of ChatGPT 4.0 as for me. I never used anything, so my brain is all gone now. I've been using for everything ChatGPT 4.0. Right? Because it saved my time quite a lot. Right? So now at my age, I don't have anything to earn. So that what is important for me is to save time. So that's why I have been using ChatGPT 4. How do you achieve better manuscript preparation? By creating flawless contents. Somebody would have, I think, flawless content. That is the most important part. Now, when you say flawless content, any content that doesn't have hallucination in it. That's what we are now trying to, get out of this. Now, say for you to start it, you must understand the advantages of ChatGPT 4.0, and it gives you improved technical language handling, enhanced data analysis integration, strong context retention, better structured content, more accurate citation, enhanced peer review responsiveness. All you can be able to do. I never do my data handling by any other software other than ChatGPT. You name it, you can do everything. All AI tools, you can do it with this. I'm going to show you how to do it now today. Right? So, meaning what is required for you to start for your paper is set of data. Right? But make sure that the data set belongs to you, not to others. Right? That is most important part. So have a data set. That's all what you require. And then at the end of the day, you get your paper. Right? And then you know whether the paper that you, let's say manuscript, is good enough to be submitted to high impact journal, or even the name of the journal. Even the name of the journal, and then the possibility of it being accepted. All you can be able to find it. We are going to try that today. Whatever we do, whatever we say, there have been limitations of ChatGPT 4.0 as well. Dependence on the input quality. So that is a very important thing. That is a very important thing, because all what you put in is something coming out. Then don't expect something, which is different from what you have entered. So that is solely dependent on the input quality and lack of subjective judgment. Sometimes it may not be able to get whatever your jargon that are more appropriate enough. Right? Now, when you are looking at, or say, for example, when you are talking of invention of a new something, let's say medicine or pharmaceutical drug, the correct word is rolling out or roll out, which may not come through the ChatGPT. So therefore, sometimes you need your knowledge to be built in once the initial manuscript comes out. That is a very important thing. Data cutoff issues. Sometimes ChatGPT may not be able to understand or maybe identify all the data you put or you input. So the data cutoff takes place. Right? So therefore, we have to be mindful that all data that you put in are taken care by the ChatGPT. So therefore, I do believe my experiences, again, the tip that I got is do enter all your data using Excel, not in Word. But I myself do most of the time Word, right? But that is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. But ideal if you can enter all your data using Excel, because it's a universal package. ChatGPT is very much trained for the Excel sheets. So therefore, whenever you enter data, keep in mind either top priority would be the Excel, and the second, in fact, Word. When you say Word, new version. Now, sometimes your computers may not have the newest version, but always use the newest version, because ChatGPT is very recent, trained for all the new versions, right? In USA, they won't use old versions. So therefore, always think that you enter the data that are basically saved using the newest version. It applies even for the Excel. Okay. Over reliance on AI. It relies completely on AI. Sometimes it goes beyond the limitation. So therefore, be careful. AI is meaning that they extract something which is available in the internet. They can't think beyond that. Sometimes what is given in the internet may be wrong, but the ChatGPT is going to pick them up. So therefore, we have to be a bit careful. You have to have an idea of what ChatGPT picks up. Then ethical concerns. And some people believe that the moment you use ChatGPT, you have to put it as a reference. Some journals accept ChatGPT to be the reference, right? But I never do it. I do everything with ChatGPT, but I do paraphrasing so that nobody can be able to identify that I have used ChatGPT. Right? That's what I do. I'll let you know how it could be done later. Right? Then you get the context misinterpretation. Occasionally struggle with the context or ambiguous content. Sometimes it, just roll on without understanding what to do. And then they want us to again rethink or retry again and again. Sometimes it happens, but it happens whenever so many people enter at the same time. Can you remember? Can anyone tell me how many people can, enter at any given second? Two billion. 2 billion in the paid version, right? So therefore, they have such a big capacity now. Those days we had a problem, now it is possible. It's very possible for you. Now you won't get, basically, you are usually asked those days, to be in a queue, but there is no queues. You enter, all of a sudden you will be given whatever you ask for. So you have certain limitation, but with that, the beauty of ChatGPT 4 for manuscript preparation is these three. It simplifies, break down complex writing tasks, refine, polishes rough draft into professional level writing, complete, ensures consistency and completeness in manuscript. These three were not available with ChatGPT. Right? ChatGPT gives something, useful, but they are not going beyond that level. But ChatGPT 4.0 can be able to do that as well. So therefore, that refines your manuscript. It better provide you a good idea of what you have done, during your research period. Okay. If you look at ChatGPT 4.0 for research support, go to this DOI I have given. There is a booklet, and it gives you what you can do for research, the manuscript preparation. You should start with green stuff. That's called research conception. You have the data, you don't know the hypothesis, you need to, idea extraction, you need the research design. Sometimes we do meta-analysis using forest plots, sometimes you don't do it, and then summarization, then literature, all you can be able to do with ChatGPT 4. So your research would be different from your paper. Now this is applicable for your paper, whatever the manuscript that you're going to prepare, because your research in entirety is a big one. It has a different objectives. But when it comes to the manuscript is not on your exact theme of the research. It may be part of that. So what I'm talking here is research conception is only for paper, your manuscript. That you need to build up first, without which there is no paper. Right? Now, right at the moment, you think that, okay, whatever you do, you think that this is publishable. That is the assumption that you start. But this gives you an understanding whether it is publishable or not. Right? So therefore, that is the prerequisite for you to start up with a paper. Right? Now, say, for example, sometimes you do something without any statistical data analysis at all, and then you think that you can publish at a high impact journal, right? And when you keeping that in mind, you start, working on this paper. Ultimately, you submit maybe for 20, journal, but nobody accepts you. See the time that you have lost. But this would not let you do so. You will be saving time because of that. So that is what we do. First part is what is given in the green color. Then comes to the blue color, academic writing. Right? I'll be going one by one later so that you can be able to do. Once the academic writing is done, then you go to editing and paraphrasing. What is that yellow color ones or the orange color ones. And once it is done, then you go to the other one, the red color one on your, the right hand side, academic publishing. So that is what we do. So all of what is given there can be done with ChatGPT 4.0. Right? So you got to do most of this for you to get a good paper out of ChatGPT 4. Okay. Now we are trying today all, right? Until you end up with your paper, final paper we will be doing, so that you can be able to understand, how it could be done with the ChatGPT 4.0. So you need to conquer the task of manuscript preparation, and it's a bit of a challenge, but everyone now accept the fact that the use of AI built software for the better writing is the solution to save time, and also you will learn a lot from that. And you may have used ChatGPT many times, but have yet to be successful. You would have, I know that everyone would have tried ChatGPT, but it's maybe with limited success. But that would not help you at all when it comes to manuscript preparation, because it has to be a perfect piece of document to be submitted to a high impact journal. Because every journal now, editor, has software to check whether you have used AI, edited content. If so, they reject. Many of Elsevier journals reject. So then you need to make sure that these journal editors cannot find it out that you have used AI, mediated or generated stuff in your manuscript. So that's what you should be able to do. Let's see how you could conquer with ChatGPT 4.0. What you need to do is these three. You need to mention, remember, research design flow is very important. Need ideas to be conceptualized in a scientific platform. The paper is for something that you have, come out new. So therefore, conceptualization is a very important part. So your entire, the paper basically rolls around this design idea. Then comes writing and structuring the paper. Dive deep into the actions of getting the first manuscript out. That's what we do. If a research idea is conceptualized, you know on what we should write your paper, and then you write the paper under number 2. Then comes the number 3, finalizing the paper. Polish the manuscript for better delivery. That is a very important part, because without all three, a manuscript is not going to be complete, or it's incomplete. So then let's start with the first one, research design workflow. Now, research design is formulate novel idea that is publishable. Now, you have done your research, right? You think that what you have done is publishable. It's only up to you. But you may ask your supervisor. Supervisor would also agree with you that it's publishable. But you have not got anything, from somebody who is in your, let's say, fraternity or maybe your area of expertise. So, but you are a little shy. You are not going to send what you have done to a person of your same area to make sure that what you have done is good enough for now. In that case, ChatGPT-4 helps you, right? Then comes objective of the paper. Once you do the research design, you got to find out what is your objective of this paper. That is very important, which you can get it easily from ChatGPT-4. Then the initial title. Now you know your research design, you have some ideas, some data, and you know your objective. With that, now you come out with the initial title, establish a working title, aligned with the research focus. Because without knowing your initial title, you may not be able to go along, to different sections. So then come up with the initial title. That's not final. That's only a guess, which you get using all keywords by the ChatGPT 4.0. Then comes the presentation of data, organized, collected data to fit the research narrative. Now, what you have given from the top research design, you have used certain data. Now you need to organize such data in a proper manner. That is what we call presentation of data. It may be using maybe pie chart, it may be tables, it may be drawings. I don't know, it's up to you all, but still you can get everything from ChatGPT. What will be the best way that you can present your data, right? Then data analysis. No point in having data. Data analysis must be done. So therefore, either you can do statistically, geostatistics, or you can use AI tools, basically machine learning algorithms. I use machine learning algorithms, but whatever you do here, you can ask for code. You get the Python code. Why Python code is important? You have to fix, send that, or maybe let's say cut and paste, or copy and paste, and go to Python and make sure that what is given by ChatGPT-4 is the same as what you get from Python. Right? For that, you have to, use code. I mean, code you don't want to prepare by yourself. Code is already given. So just paste, copy and paste, that's all. And then from the Python, you can get the same results. That is a must. That is a must. Without that, you may not be able to, make sure that the data correct. Sometimes, occasionally, they may not be the same. Right? Hallucination effect may be there. So therefore, never ever submit anything simply by doing ChatGPT-4, but you need to do with by another software. That is a very important part. Now, say for me, I use the Python. With the Python, you can be able to very easily get there. Say it takes a couple of minutes. It doesn't take much time. Next, interpretation of the results. Very, very important part. Most of you are novices, or you don't know how to interpret data. Whatever you get, out of this analysis. So that interpretation is a very important. So therefore, for the research design, you do all of them. Now only you are ready for something to write, right? Otherwise, you are not yet ready. So therefore, all of them are by tempo. That is what we call research design workflow. Once it is done, then you go for a writing and structuring the paper. The first, what I showed earlier slide, would be like prerequisites. Still, everything can be done with the ChatGPT 4.0. Writing and structuring the paper. First thing, what you do, writing the introduction. Writing the introduction, writing the results and discussion, writing the methodology, compiling references, writing conclusion, writing abstract. I have a bit of awkward way of writing. Right? You start with the introduction, Then you go to results and discussion, right? And now the nervous thinking is you start with the results and discussion first. You start with the results and discussion. Some people like, some people not. But for me, I start with the results and discussion first, and then go to introduction. Last, I go to methodology. Right, results and discussion part must be finished to do the methodology, because then only you should understand the what are the content that you should consider under methodology. Let's say methods, right? So therefore, never write methodology after introduction. Then you may miss. Okay, and then comes the references. You need to compile references, and most of the time hallucination effect is there. So therefore, when you do the referencing, you have to check with another way. By another means, you need to check whether they are correct or not. Right? I'll let you know how you should check later. Next, writing conclusions. Once you finish all, you can get the conclusions from ChatGPT 4 very easily. Then comes the abstract. So now you're almost done with your first paper. Let's say initial manuscript. Then comes finalizing. Right? That is also a very important part. Finalizing title is very, very important. Now you began with the initial title. Now you are going to come out with the final, the title of your paper, right? And why you need that? You must get a title which has not been published elsewhere. That is the most important part, right? So therefore, but you need catchy keywords all there, but never ever publish. ChatGPT 4 is going to give you very simple, but very, very, I would say publishable title very easily. Then comes checking plagiarism. Very, very important. Now, plagiarism can be checked by any, plagiarism software. I use Grammarly because the Grammarly has newest version is now inbuilt with AI, so that they will be able to find it out easily. Whatever the plagiarism or whatever the AI is, AI has identified, it would be identified. When you say plagiarism, now this plagiarism is what? AI generative stuff. And it identifies ChatGPT has got this one. So therefore, now you can't go ahead unless you put the reference. What is the reference? ChatGPT 04. Sorry, 4.0. That is the reference. But I don't want to do it. So therefore, since I'm not interested in putting this ChatGPT 4.0 as a reference, I go to the next one, paraphrasing. Paraphrasing can also be done with the Grammarly, or you have, so many other like Pillbot, Rightful. You use whatever you can, then you can be. Since I can do everything, at the same time by Grammarly, I do all three at the same time. The editing and proofreading I do again using the Grammarly. Right? Very easy, because all three can be done, so that I do at the same time plagiarism check, paraphrasing, editing and proofreading, all I do at the same time. Please, I'll show you how it could be done. Then finally, formatting to fit the journal. This, of course, you have to do. No AI built apps is capable of doing this. Right? Now, say for example, if you're the one who is going to select your journal, but every journal has its own format. So that formatting you have to do by manual means. There is no any other method. So therefore, except that part, entirely everything can be done with software. Okay. So let's look at how we can do. You are done with the publishable journal paper. Any novice can do it 7 days. Right? And when you say 7 days, not working 24 hours, 8 hours. Just work 8 hours, 7 days. Your paper is, before you, and then you can satisfy your supervisor without any problem. You can, get, pass easily with this. Let's give it a try. Okay. I'm now trying to do it. The most important part is as I mentioned, you start with the research design. Now, how we are going to do is, the most important part is the prompt. What you type is most important. You will be getting all, we can give all to students, right? This presentation. So we will upload you don't want to write anything. Just listen, that is more than enough. Right? But if you have the computers, so you can try if you want. First thing, give me the research idea, design idea using data collected and attached herewith to write a journal paper on. This is some data that I collected. Okay. And microplastic in Bolgoda River, Sri Lanka, consequences of urban waste mismanagement. What I thought is my crazy idea was, I thought that now there is Karadhyana, the open dump is there. So you have been dumping all the polythene stuff there. Now, with the time, it has now become smaller particles, disintegrate, microplastics have come into the river, and river may be polluted with microplastics. Is it true? Does it give any problems? Any complications, right? Any implications? That is what I want to find. So I just went through the internet, then I found that there is nobody at that much. So that's a good area that I can do. So that I got to look student, and then with the collaboration with University of Colombo, and then I collected some data. Right? When it comes to paper, there are 8 people in our research, the committee. So I would say collaboration work. When it comes to writing, nobody is going to write. Everybody seems to be busy. Right? So then I took the challenge. I said, okay, I will write. Then I wrote the paper. I'm going to share with you as well, that paper, right? And try to find any mistake, right? I'm going to give you now. So that is what I'm going to do. So then give me a research design idea using data collected, and so that I will now go to this. Now this is my data. I'll start with the figure. Now this is the Karadhyana dump site, and you can see that there is a Bolgura lake coming down. So I have selected, now see this, the dots, yellow color are the places where I did my sampling. There is a red dot. That is the place where you get stuff coming from this open dump, right? Now I actually took some of the samples above that, and I took some of them below, right? That is my research, design. Why? Supposing if something coming from this one, this point should give higher value, and also these values must be higher compared to those above. Okay, so I have to give this one. Now this is only a figure. ChatGPT 4.0 can read each and every point given here. That's why I'm going to give. Okay, and then we have table. If you look at this, total microplastics in water. This is actually a water body. I measured in water. These are the 15 locations. How much total plastic per meter cube I have given? Look at my value, mean and standard deviation. If you do anything without standard deviation, it's not publishable at all. Right? If you do only one sample, it cannot be published. So I had to do 3, and then got the mean plus standard deviation. Those are fundamentals that you must understand. Okay? Statistically, otherwise you can't analyze. And then this is second one, microplastic in sediment. Right? Sediment means at the bottom. You see that very high levels, high values we found. We actually counted all microplastics one by one through the microscope. So we got a lot. And then I have the microplastics forms in the water. And then I see what those forms are, whether they are fibers, films, foams, and fragments. Right? How many are there? I counted for all 15. Then I counted MP4 in sediment. Same thing in sediment, earlier water, now sediment. Always I go for both. And then different sizes. Then I went for sizes. Greater than 5 millimeter, between 4 to 4.99, likewise sizes. Yeah, this is water, next one is sediment. Okay, now look at all I did with mean and standard deviations. Then different colors of plastics in water: blue, red, white, black, pink, yellow, green, purple, ash brown, all. Some are there, some are not there, so I've counted. Then different colors of plastics in sediment. First water, second, and then physiochemical parameters. What are the pH, EU, DO? So they may also affect. So then measured all the parameters. That's all. Very basic data that I collect. These are, we call, independent data. You never enter anything that you have come out secondary. You collected, sometimes you do some analysis, then you can also give them. That is not what I'm going to give here. All right, these are the preliminary data, but all what I say is this. And the supplementary I have put. Now, these are the analysis that I did. Not me, actually, just ChatGPT 4. Right? I took exactly 30 minutes to do all the analysis, all what I show now here. Pretty accurate, 100% accurate. All the correlations. Right? These are called heat plots. Then finally, this is the most important one, comparison. Now, these are secondary data that I got from the first set of data. So I'm not going to put them into the initial one because those are something that I did by myself. But collection of data, independent set of data. So then what I'm now going to give is figure and the table. Okay, so that's what I'm going to give you. Enter here. Okay. Now here, you go there, upload from the computer, table, yes. Upload, figure, yes. Now the prompt. Give me the research design idea using the data collected and attach herewith to write a journal paper on blah, 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 blah. Right? And I'm asking, give this in Word format. But if you want, you can get the Word format. But for the time being, I'm going to remove that. Right? If you just ask for a Word format, it gives you Word document. It's much easier for you to attach. Right? For the time being, we'll do here. Okay, here we go. Sorry, look at this title: Microplastic in the Bulbaric River, Sri Lanka. Consequences of Urban Waste Management. Did I give any title? No. Now see, very accurate title. I think that may be my title even now. Right? I did not do anything. It has automatically given you based on the data that you provided, input, objectives. 100% accurate. Based on what I have given. Study area. Sampling design. Did I mention anything on the location 7? No. But see, it has already identified from my figure. Emphasis on location 7, identified near the KOE, that is Caribbean Open Dam, based on the previous data. Right? Data collection methods. microplastic sampling, physiochemical parameters, microplastic characterization, analysis method, quantification of MPs, physiochemical, sources identification, statistical data. What you do, one-way ANOVA or t-test to compare MP concentration across locations. Perfectly correct. Data visualization. You can give maps, you can give graph, and the tables. Hypothesis. Location 7 near the KOD will exhibit significantly higher MP concentrations compared to other locations. Fibers will dominate MP forms due to contribution from textile waste and garment industry activities. Smaller MP size will be prevalent, indicating advanced fragmentation of larger plastic debris. All three are 100% accurate. All three are 100% accurate. Expected outcomes. Significance. Okay. All given. Now let's go to the next. Is this publishable in a reputed journal? Now I'm asking. I got something out of that. Copy. Paste. Let's see what the answer is. When you give a prompt, always try to be more accurate, even with the spelling. Sometimes they will understand, sometimes they will not. Right? So that sometimes, now when you say database, one word. So I have given two words, but still they can identify. Your research, blah, 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 aligns well with the current scientific interest and is suitable for publication in reputed journals. The study focuses on microplastic, blah, blah, blah. Look at the potential journals for submission. Marine pollution bulletin, environmental pollution, science of the total environment, macroplastics in nanoplastics, recommended to enhance publishability, novelty. Sorry. Ensure your study offers new insights, such as unique data on microplastic concentration, sources, or impact specific to Bolgoda River. I have no. So I'm actually negative in novelty. These have been done by many people. That's for me to understand, because that is my research. Number two, methodological rigor. Employ robust sampling and analytical method to provide credible and reproducible results, but that very common, usual one. There is no novelty there. Contextualization. Discuss your findings in the context of global microplastic pollution, highlighting the implication for similar urban river systems. Yes. There may be a bit of a novelty there. Policy implication include recommendation for waste. Yes, I'm going to do that. Right. So, if you look at this, there may be a possibility for you to write at a good journal, but for me, I understand that I should look for medium level, impact factor less than 5, because all what they have given, I could not comply 100%. Okay, now let's go to the next. I need to get the, sorry, correlation between the microplastics, the Bolgoda River, and the plastic in the open dump, Karadian has a novel idea. Is it publishable in a reputed journal? So I have a crazy idea. Now I'm asking him, whether this is a good thing or not. It says, novelty and import. Investigating a direct link between an open dump and microplastic pollution is a tropical river system, providing new dimension to study of the urban waste management. That's a good thing, because I tried, I couldn't find a similar one. So then, global efforts to trace pollution sources and develop mitigation strategies is a good idea. Research significance. There is an environmental relevance and very good in the global context. And again, it is going to give you journals suitability. It enhances the publishing, clear hypothesis, robust methodology, statistical analysis, broad implications. I need to concentrate on all. Contribution to the field is very high. Conclusion, the research idea is unique, impactful, and well suited for the publication of high impact journals. Let me know if you need, if you like help with framing the hypothesis, designing the methodology and preparation. Ask it now. But I don't want to stop it here, then I want to go here. Copy. Paste. How do you suggest to improve my idea to be eligible for a good journal? Can you suggest looking at a similar papers in the internet? I'm trying to, just highlight more, try to, get more advantage from my paper. Then I'm asking him again whether I can be able to get something new to be included, something that I can't see by myself. Perhaps ChatGPT may be able to identify. Comprehensive source analysis, polymer identification. I was, see that I have to use analytical techniques like Fourier transform into an FTIR or Raman spectrum to precisely identify. So I did it. So therefore, this would guide you also something lacking in you, right? Perhaps your supervisor might even not know. So therefore, you can be able to get it very easily. How to do polymer identification? It will give very clearly. Chemical fingerprinting, which is the most newest method in the world now, but we couldn't do it. You can do the chemical fingerprinting very easily now. And spatial and temporal assessment, detailed mapping, seasonal variation study, environmental health impact, ecotoxicological assessment, human health risk, integration of waste management practices, policy reviews, mitigation strategies, blah, blah, blah. You get quite a lot of new ideas coming in. See? So that I can be able to inbuild into my paper. So this part is not only for your publication, but also for you to start new research. This would help you. It will train you which part you should take on board, during your career as a researcher. So for every research idea, I'm asking this. So you will be broaden yourself, your wisdom, to get the right, stuff into your brain so that your research methodology or the design would be much more precise. Then I'm not stopping here and I'm going to the other one. How you suggest to improve? And I'll skip some of them. You can try. I'm giving this one so you can try later. And I'm going last one. What you suggest? Copy. Go there. Paste. What you suggest possibly may not be available with me. Can I go ahead with simplified methods? Now, chemical fingerprinting is not available with me. So I'm asking still, is there a possibility for me to publish with my simple? Yes. Say microplastic identification, visual inspection, you can go. That's exactly what I did. You see the fibers, fragment size. Since I can't do that one, I did this. Now see, it has picked up. Manual sorting, source correlation, qualitative analysis, you can do. Physiochemical parameters, which I already did. Data analysis, rely on basic statistical method, mean, standard deviation, correlation analysis. So when I read it, I understand what I should do next. Presentation of results, how you should do. Justification of simple method, publishability of simplified research. All I did. And then last one. Now with this, within 2 hours, you know whether your stuff is publishable or not, or whether you need more improvements. Very easily you can be able to find it out here. Right, okay. Last one, data validation you need to do, Exploration of data analysis, descriptive statistics, visualization you need to do, statistical analysis you need to do, source linkages you need to do, drafting results. All three you need to do. And then discussion, next step for manuscript preparation. Use your research to frame compelling narrative in your research book. Now done. Now with all, when you read it, I'm ready to go for my paper. Supposing if you're not satisfied, you can give another set of data, or maybe you can add more. You can ask for a new, completely a new idea. You can do wonders with this. They're all 100% accurate. Right? Now see that? Can you be able to get these things from your supervisor? No, not at all. Your supervisors are busy. So sometimes supervisors like me sometimes do not know all of them. So therefore, ChatGPT knows, so that you can be able to teach even your supervisor if you do this follow very well. Right? New techniques you can be able to improve or maybe suggest. All right, so then let's go to next one. We did this. Then we go to next one is research objective of the paper. Right? Now let's see how we are going to get objectives. So that I'm going to same thing, going to copy this. Give me the probable objective of my paper based on the above analysis. That's what I'm asking. Now this would give you some idea what you are supposed to do in the paper. But these are not the real objectives. Okay? These are what you have already given. So therefore you go to the next one. Now you're asking, what is your broad objective? One. Sometimes you might be worried, why can't you ask this final one, what you require right at the beginning? That is impossible. When you are talking about the prompting or the prompt engineering, the more you ask, the accurate the final results would be. That is why we go one by one, right? So therefore, you can't get the final answer only with one prompt. Several prompts you need to ask. To investigate the relationship between urban waste management at the Caribbean Open Dump and the prevalence, distribution, and characteristics of microplastic in the Bermuda River, aiming to identify key pollution pathways and provide insights for effective mitigation strategies. Everything that I actually wanted is captured with one. Now, can't we put this straight away to the introduction then? Your objective is confirmed. All what you do, but all depend on what you have given. Data. So whatever given in the data is captured here under this broad objective. Can you refine it exactly match my data set attached tables? I don't want that. I will be passing it. Give me the broad outcome. This is important. Outcome is not your output. Outcome is what is most important for a paper. What other people can get out of your research. That's what is important. That should also be found from this. You have got it. So therefore, I know now how important my study is for the others. If you read this, now I can shorten this. I mean, if you want only 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, number of words 20, 30, 40, 50, any number you ask for, then I get the output. The outcome. So that I'm going to put it into my introduction. Right. So that is doable. Now, this would give you exactly what transpires from my research for the society. That is a very important thing. So that you can get easily from this one. And then the last important things. What is your honest idea about the possible publication of this research in a reputed journal? Now I did some over, still I am not sure. I am bit doubtful. So I am asking again. Now it has been more trained. So therefore it might give something different now. Look at this. My honest assessment of the potential publication of your research in a reputed journal is optimistic, but comes with a few considerations. Then earlier highly praised, but now what they say is optimistic. Yes, there may be a possibility, but you need to improve some. That is what you need to know, right? Novelty, global relevance, practical implications. Very important part, three parts, which I don't have the novelty. Global relevance, yes. Practical implication, yes. But there is no novelty to mine. This what because there are so many people have done it. It is not me doing the first time, right? But it may be new to Sri Lanka, but it doesn't mean that it is new to world. So there is no novelty as such, right? So that's why I'm very basically skeptical of sending this to a very high reputed journal. So I'm planning, let's say 1, 2, 3. In fact, factor seems to be better for me for this paper. Right. Challenges to address: methodological rigor, data depth, presentation. Then target impact journal. Journals of environmental pollution, science of total environment could be a potential target if your research outcomes are strong and globally relevant. Moderate to impact options. Journals such as Marine Pollution Bulletin or Journal of Environment Management are also suitable for. So this is exactly what I want. Number 2. First one is very high. I'm not going to target, or maybe open access journals. Sometimes there is a possibility. Consider open access journals like microplastics and nanoplastics to reach a broader audience, but you have to pay for that. Final thoughts. Your research topic has a high potential for a publication if you address methodological limitations and present strong data-backed conclusion. Focus on presenting your work as a significant contribution to understanding microplastic pollution in underrepresented regions, emphasizing its broader applicability. Now, see, they never say that, okay, you go ahead and then publish. Absolutely no problem. They always remind you of what is lacking. Right? Now I have a room. Correct myself. I know what to be correct. Right? So with that, let's go to the next. Initial title of the paper. Right? Now I need to go for a the title of the paper. I got something, but that may I don't know whether it is correct or not. So let's look at again. Copy, go there, paste. Based on the above discussions, give me initial title for my paper. Now that is something that I have put by myself. Very initial guess, but I'm asking them to find me tracing microplastic pollution in Bolgada River, Sri Lanka, linking environmental contamination to Karadiyana open dam. Now they have given something related to what I showed earlier. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the next. I'm asking most suitable one. In between, I'm going to omit because of time limitation, but you can try. Right? Same thing, you can try, and then you will be able to get by yourself because you may be having a lot of your data set. Try with your data set, and then definitely you will succeed. Now let us look at. Considering all above, give me the most suitable title for me to go ahead. I'm trying to, get the almost like final title. Now they're asking tracing microplastic pollution in the Bolgota River, Sri Lanka, linking urban waste mismanagement to Karadian open them. I would be happy that is much more better. Look at title. Very simple. All keywords are there. No ambiguous word given there. That is the beauty of a title for a successful journal paper. But if you are looking at newspaper article, you must put little more attractive, and then you have to create the enthusiasm for a person to read, where you put a lot of jargon that you can't even understand. That's all right. But whenever you write this for a journal paper, must be very simple. All catchy words must be there, what you have done, and then title should not be done by someone else. Right? Now, say for example, if I find tracing microplastic pollution in the Mekong River, Vietnam, linking urban waste management to some other open dam, not acceptable at all. So somebody has already done it, same thing, which I can't put it. Right? So that is why I check whether this title has been done by someone else or not. ChatGPT 4 can identify anything available in the internet. You name it, you can find it. Right? ChatGPT 4 can identify each one of you. You ask your name, you give who this person is, it will give you. Right? If you have a notorious, stuff in your internet, still they can identify and give you. Be careful, be careful associating with this person. So therefore, ChatGPT 4 can identify anything, no issue at all. Okay. Now we got the initial title. Then comes the presentation of data using attached table and figure given above. Let me know how to present data meaningfully in my manuscript. Now all what I did was I put all in tables. But if I'm going to put all in tables in my paper, which is not attractive, I'm asking what would be the best way that I can present the data. Organize the data by key themes: microplastic distribution, physiochemical correlation, source links, highlight the relationship, all given. Use table for comprehensive data. Table should include microplastic constraint in water and sediment with statistical summaries. Physiochemical, all given. How to label, all given. Use figures for visual impact. Spatial maps, bar graph, heat maps. Now they're giving me ideas what to do. Right? I selected heat maps for the correlation. That's what I showed you earlier, but let's see how we can do that as well. Anything you name it, right? Now what you have to do is you have to give the command. Okay, I need bar chart, I need the bar graph or heat map or pie chart. You don't want to draw by yourself. Data given, ChatGPT 4 draws everything for you. Okay, right? So I found what I could draw from this. See, ensure clarity and consistency, write capital, the captions and legends thoughtfully. You will be guided everything, how to do. Now see example even, example of integration, text example, now see. It's a good idea. Now I did by myself, one by one, but they're asking me to all location one column, water empty one column, a sediment another column, then fiber dominance another column, something like that. Right? They are giving quite a lot of information how to present. Right? So I'm also asking, based on your guidance, give me the figures, titles, and figures table, title, all I can ask. I will give you only one. Let's see. Figure titles and suggestions. Look at this. They are suggesting you even the figure captions. Sampling location of Bulgur Lake. Figure 2. Very easy. This is what I do. 5 figures. Table titles. Even the table titles are given. But you need highlight the key results, discuss visuals, presentation tips, some of the tips also they are going to give you. So therefore, basically you know, and then this is something new that I always go for. I would like you all also to go for this one. Supplementary material. Nowadays, it's almost like a must. You must give other whatever available in a supplementary material section, which is not a part and parcel of your paper, but you submit later, maybe together with that, and then anybody who wants to read it can go and then read it, so that you can ask for that as well. Additional details. Look at figure S1, microplastic distribution by shape and size. They are suggesting me, some of them, to go to supplementary materials. See, I have a dropped into detail my regenerate. Let's see. Method. Okay, it's all right. I can regenerate, but usually it will be given like this, right? And let's go to next, because I'm going pretty fast, so that I might exceed 40 for a given hour, right? So that I have to be a bit careful. So let's look at now data analysis and interpretation of data. This is the most important part as far as ChatGPT 4 is concerned, as far as your paper is concerned. I would consider this to be the crux of your entire paper, how to analyze. What I did was I gave only this, right? And I'm going to show you what I got in, because that is a bit of a lengthy one, so that I will show you interpretation of the results. Same thing I did it, and I will show you here even. Now I got the idea now earlier. Under my research design, they have given certain things for me to do. Now, having understood that, I'm now trying to do interpretation. Let's see, figure 1, measurement locations. Earlier, the picture is there. The figure 1, same picture. Look at the same one, table 1, same table that I have given. Microplastic sediment, same. Now I'm asking these questions. Are the MPs, microplastics, of water in number 7 different from others? How did I get this particular idea? The research design has given me that number 7 is something different from others, because 7 is the point which receives microplastics from the open dam. So definitely it should have something different from others. Let's look at whether it is correct or not. Statistical. I asked this question. Now see these answers that I got from ChatGPT. To statistically analyze whether the microplastic content at point 7 is significantly different from other points, we would typically perform a one-way analysis of variance. ANOVA, if we are comparing the means across all locations. However, since we are comparing the mean of one location against all others, we can perform a set of t-tests. You don't need to know what to be done. So it gives you what to be done. So then here is the general approach. Now they calculate samples are independent, blah, blah, blah. If we find the assumptions are not met, we might use even non-parametric test like a Mann-Whitney-U test. Very clearly explain all what you should do. I'm not going to go one by one because of timing. See the mean microplastic content at 0.7. They have picked it up from my tables. T-test comparison of the mean microplastic content at 0.7 against the combined mean of the other locations resulted in a T statistics -6 plus the p-value associated with the T statistic approximately this. Now look at the answer. Given that the p-value is much less than the common alpha level of 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis that there is no difference between the microplastic content at 0.7 and the other points. This suggests that the microplastic content at 0.7 is statistically significantly different from the microplastic content at the other locations. Now see, the analysis done. I never asked them to do anything, but what I asked is simple question: is the number 7 different? ChatGPT can identify what to be done, and then it has done the analysis, and then it gives a Python code. Now this is the Python code. See the Python code. Now I have to copy this, go to Python, and work out and get the same answer. These are the answers. Analysis. Pretty simple. Look at the same question I'm asked. Are there MPs of sediment in number 7 different from others? Earlier the water, now I am asking the sediment. Same answer, see? It does the analysis. It says this suggests that the microplastic content at 0.7 is statistically significantly different from the microplastic content at the other locations already identified. Right? Then the code. So now I know that the 7 is something special. Definitely it will be picking up, the microplastic. So that my idea, the initial, the research design would be all right. Right? Now supposing if this understood, let's say ChatGPT gives you that there is no significant difference of number 7 with respect to others, all my research stop. I won't proceed. Then I'm going to stop my work. No point going beyond, because my research design, the research idea is not correct. Okay, that's why I'm doing this part first. Right? Rather than writing introduction, methodology, all, I'm doing this first. Then comes the second one, microplastic forms. Give me the heat map to understand the correlation of different forms of plastics in water at different locations. Now these are the stuff. I just want to see whether there are any correlation of different fibers versus films, fibers versus forms, fibers versus fragments, right? Because, say for example, if you have only, let's say, fabric items, garment items, what you get is only fibers, which is independent of all the others, right? So likewise, we may be able to get some relationship. That's why I'm asking this question. Now, figure 2, I didn't ask them, they have done it. ChatGPT has already done and then given me the heat map between different forms. Now inside you get the relationships. Right? You don't need anything. ChatGPT itself is going to give you this. Here is the heat map illustrating the correlation between different forms of plastic in water across various locations. Fiber, films, forms, fragments. Look at the something comes out of that, this analysis. The correlations are generally weak, with the strongest correlation observed being negative between fibers and forms. This could indicate that the locations with high amount of one type tend to have a lower amount of another, but these relationships are not strong. Right? That is what I get in the water. look at the same thing. I'm asking, give me the heat map, understand the correlation between forms of plastic and sediment. I'm asking the same question. This is what they have given. Strongest correlation observed in the sediment data is between fibers and films. The other forms of plastics do not seem to have strong correlation with each other in the sediments at the location samples. I got some idea. So whenever you have a strong correlation with the fibers and films, there is a high chance of getting fabric material in the dump. So that's why they correlate with each other. Right? And then I'm asking, based on the correlation of microplastic forms in the sediments, fibers and films, there is a moderate positive blah blah blah. This could indicate of similar sources or similar environmental factors affecting their distribution. Everything you can check, you can ask. And in practical terms, this correlation information can be used to make predictions about the presence of certain types of plastics based on the presence of others. For example, they're giving, if fibers are found in high concentration, there is a moderate chance that films could also be found in high concentration in the same sediments. However, the correlations are not strong enough to make definitive predictions, and they only indicate tendencies rather than certainty. So you get even what transpires from your results, I get some idea, which I may not be able to see alone. So that is the advantage. Then Python code is given, how to draw heat maps, it's given here. Then I'm asking again, give me the detailed scientific interpretation of what types of plastics are very likely in all 15 locations in relation to the forms of plastics in sediments, their numbers and correlations. Now I'm asking straight away the question, what can transpire from my results? It gives everything here. Fibers it gives. I'll read only one. Fibers, given their widespread use in textiles, the presence of fibers could suggest pollution from clothing and other textile products. Common polymers in textile fibers include polystyrene, that's PET, nylon, and polyacrylides. The fibers may also come from fishing nets, which are often made from polypropylene or nylon. Look at films, forms, fragments. Even if you do not know what these things are, how you relate to these sources, this has already given a very good information that you learn from ChatGPT about your results, all from your results. Okay. Then looking at mean concentration of 15 location, it gives even spatially now. Location 7 and 8 have the high numbers of fibers and film, which might indicate significant textile and packaging waste, likely from residents and commercial sources. Those are outcomes. Now your results, from the results, it translates these outcomes. Perfect. 100% accurate. Right? Now, I'm not going to read again, so that basically I got all what I want. Relationships. That is the linkage that I'm going to go with the Punuboda and the water body. And this linkage is what is given here. Right? So, I don't want to ask, I don't want to refer to any other papers. It looks like that I'm an expert on polythene and plastics, different types. So these are given very easily. Then are there any similar trends between forms of plastics in water and sediments? Now I'm asking whatever question you want, you can ask. It has done the analysis. In summary, the correlation in water and sediment show different patterns indicating that the microplastic forms may have different behavior or sources across these environments. This could be influenced by the factors such as water flow, settling dynamics, degradation rates, and local pollution sources. Yes, water you have a different, form of different forms. In sediment you have a different forms. Why? Because of these reasons. Right? They are not still. They are basically moving. So that the water will move pretty fast. Sediment is almost, sessile or maybe slow moving. So therefore, these two environments have different phenomena occurring. That's what I got from this particular question. Then I go to sizes. Now these are sizes. Are there any correlation between different sizes of plastic in water? That I'm asking now water. Same thing here. Same heat map. And I got the answers. Then I'm asking, are there any correlation between different sizes of plastic in sediment? I'm going down. Same thing. Now it says the correlation can provide insight into the breakdown and deposition process of plastic and sediment, as well as potential sources and transport mechanism. I'll come to that later. So that same thing I did. Then I get I got the code, Python code. Then I'm asking, give me the detailed scientific interpretation on what type of plastic are very likely in all 15 locations in relation to sizes of plastics in sediments, right? First one is analysis part only. Now to get the scientific interpretation, you have to ask it again. You have to keep that in mind. ChatGPT won't give you, if you ask to do an analysis, it will do the analysis, that's all. But it won't give you anything beyond that. That's why I'm asking this now. Based on that analysis, it is now going to give you, see, when I'm not going to read it all, and they give everything. Very nice. In summary, all locations likely to contain a mixture of common consumer plastics with varying degree of degradation, reflecting the complex nature of plastic pollution and its behavior in sedimentary environment. For a definitive analysis, each size fraction would need to be chemically analyzed to identify the type of plastic. So now see, if you have to be 100% accurate, now it suggests that you need to analyze chemically, right? Or maybe by any other technique. I'll finish this and then I'll stop it. Are there any similar trends between sizes and plastics in water and sediment? I'm now trying to match again. For the sizes, water versus sediment. Answer is no. So are for the smaller sizes of plastic, only for less than 0.5, which suggests that these plastics might be similarly distributed or affected by similar environment processes in both water and sediment. So only the smallest portion has, but others no. The Python code is there. Then I'm coming to the same for color. I did analyze color even. I'm asking same now. See, heat map, Python code. Then I'm asking the same thing in sediments. Initially it is water. Now I'm asking sediment. Heat map. Analyze results. See, different correlation. Most of them are not strong, except some. Now this is very, very strong. Purple and green and plastic. I just want to now know why they are so strong and what it can give me. I'm asking that question. Give me the detailed scientific interpretation on what type of plastics are very likely in all 15 based on the color. See, I'll be reading only one with the highest. Purple and green. The strong positive correlation indicates whenever purple plastics are found, green plastics are also likely to be present, and vice versa. This might suggest a common source or similar environmental transport mechanism that deposit these plastics together, right? And then you see all sort of colors could be combined, and then you get a very good interpretation of results. Based on the provided data from sediment and the heat map, you can see polyethylene, these are the most common type of plastic found in environment and are often used in packaging. So they are helping me to understand. Your CDCD bags are basically from that, what you put. And so you can see that all of what is given explained. Are there any similar trend between colors of plastic in water and sediment? I'm now trying to see similarities between water and. Are there any correlation among parameters? Now here I got it. Please note that the correlation does not imply causation. These results simply indicate patterns in the data and would require further investigation to understand the underlying causes, right? Then I'm asking, going for the physiochemical parameters. Are there any correlation? I asked, and I got some correlations. Python code. Are there correlation between MPs in the water and the parameter, the MPs and the physiochemical parameters? Yes, here there are some given. I'm not going to read it all. Basically, they have got quite a lot. Then I'm asking, are there correlation between total MPs in the sediment and physiochemical? Earlier water, now sediment. I got answers. Then comes FTIR analysis. Now they suggested me to do a precise identification techniques. But this FTIR I did not for microplastics. Microplastic FTIR, you need the Raman FTIR, which is not available in most of our institutions, except one place in Sri Lanka, you can't. So meaning FTIR analysis cannot be done for microplastic. But what I did at the same point macroplastic, large particles, more than 5 millimeter. I did it. So I'm believing that is what is going to be disintegrated into microplastics. I'm trying to relate from that, right? So that is what I can do, in our university or maybe within the Colombo. We can't do ramen, pretty expensive. Or either I have to send samples abroad. Now these are the results. So from that you can identify all types pretty accurately. Different samples I did it. Now I'm asking this type of microplastics and macroplastics comparison. Now this is a very important result. All what I did here, likely types of microplastic based on form, size, colors. Those are the only thing that I did for microplastic. But for the macroplastic, I did FTIR. Right? Look at the comparison. Can you see that there are correlations? More or less same things have or maybe evolved. So that's the beauty. That is what I'm now going to show in my paper. Right? What I guess from forms, sizes, and colors are more accurate even with the measurement of macro, because macro are going to be disintegrated into micro. Right? So that I got that aspect. Right? So therefore, this table is a valuable table for me. That is something coming out, from my analysis. Then I'm asking, can you provide me with a scientific interpretation of the relationship between macroplastics and microplastics types in these 15 locations? They give one by one. These are what is important for my discussion. Discuss everything based on these environmental conditions, mechanical forces, and what each and every analysis come out. In conclusion, scientific interpretation of the relationship between macroplastic and microplastic types in these locations underscores the complexity of plastic pollution. It highlights the importance of targeted waste management and reduction strategies to mitigate the entry of both macro and microplastic into the environment. Further, it suggests that reducing the use of certain type of plastic, enhancing waste collection and recycling efforts, and improving public awareness are vital steps towards addressing the pervasive issue of plastic pollution. Now, can you see that it has given even the policy directives how to control, which is a very important part under discussion. So I have widened my horizon on microplastics simply doing this analysis, which I can't do reading many books. Right? In no time, I got a lot of stuff from this analysis. When you read this, you get lots. You get novel ideas. So that is why this is very important. And then I asked 6.3, since these locations are attributed to open municipal solid waste dump, can I get the likely plastic types and their sources? Final link. That is the final link they are giving. Consumer packaging, household items, textile and garment waste, used plastic furniture, plastic toys, kitchenware, and the conclusion. Now they are basically all of them we found. All what is mentioned here, we found actually in the open dump because we did that also. That is to make sure that these are right. Now, 6.4, based on these 15 location plastics, what sources should be curtailed at the dump site? Consumer packaging, household. So I'm asking what should be stopped? And then they analyze and then they give, right? So that's all I did. This is what is called the interpretation of the results, right? I took nearly 5 hours to do this part. Now the question is, you get 40 pages. Now I may not be able to put everything into the paper. What shall I abstract or extract from this? How you should do extract? How you should extract out of this is an extract. Will I have to stop? Yeah, okay. So then I think you are exhausted. Let's have 10 minutes break and then come back. Then we'll do the rest. Until you come out with your paper, I won't allow you to leave. Thank you very much. All right, okay. So thank you very much joining again. And I have been given another 1 hour within which I need to present so that I would start immediately. All right, so what we did now is data analysis and interpretation of the results. Okay, so you have now done the interpretation with which you have broadened your horizon on your results. Okay, so now the time is for you to extract from this and then put it into your manuscript. That is the most important part. Now you're going to do it. And when you're looking at that, what I'm now going to do is to go for an introduction part. Now I have basically done my interpretation. So writing the introduction is an important part now. Now for me to do, what I did was, the prompt is give me key content to be addressed in the introduction section of the manuscript based on the above described details. Right? So therefore, I have already given this, and then look at this. Introduction to microplastic pollution. Now you are trying to split the entire introduction into, I would say, subtopics. That is a very important part based on your whatever the analysis you did, and they wanted us to start with the introduction to microplastic pollution. Write about the escalation microplastic pollution as a global crisis, emphasizing its causes like exponential plastic production and inadequate disposal. Mention its accumulation in various environments, including human tissues, and highlight the need for international effort to mitigate its impact. Global picture. You start with the global picture because you are now writing an international journal paper. So therefore, always you must start with the international, or let's say global picture. It has to be identified as a global crisis, but not a local crisis. That's why we start with number 1. Number 2, role of the rivers in microplastic pollution. So I have to, come out 1 or 2 sentences under that. Then the health of ecological impacts of microplastics. Now, if this comes to, let's say, rivers, now why we are so worried? It is mainly because of the fact that the health and ecological impacts are pronounced, which we need to address. Number 3. Number 4, potential solutions and policies. Why you need them? Now, what I have done is going to be an eye-opener for the policy-making fraternity or the policy-making, the authorities should get something out of my paper. That is number 4. Then the number 5, case study, Sri Lanka and Volga River. Whether I can be able to find something, in Sri Lanka, if not other countries. Number 6, recommendation for waste management policies. Out of all, what I can be able to basically recommend, right? So then I know what to do now. There are 6 subtitles under which I have to, just put some muscles into it. Now, what I did was, if you look at that very clearly, I'm now trying to get one by one. Let's say number 1, introduction to microplastic pollution. I mean, looking all, and I copied it. I put it here. Give me 2 sentences with references in APA style to be included into the introduction section of the manuscript prepared for a reputed journal on the following. Within the quotation marks, look at introduction to microplastic. That's what I got from earlier, right? Look at my prompt. I'm giving whatever possible hints into the prompt. That is the beauty of this. That is the success of this ChatGPT 4. Now I can very easily say, give me 2 sentences. I can omit with references in APA. I can omit, and I need not to say to be included into the introduction section. Sometimes I can omit of the manuscript prepared for a reputed journal. On reputed journal, I can omit, but I don't want to omit. Why? ChatGPT will take care of all, every keyword that I put into prompt. That's what is called prompt engineering. Everything that you put in, ChatGPT or the model would recognize that those are the keywords that they have to consider in giving us. Now I have given this. Look at the answer that I got. Based on the prompt extracted from the image, here are 2 sentences with the references in APA style that could be included in the introduction section. Now it's now giving us parts of paper. What comes for the introduction as a first sentence? The rapid escalation of microplastics. Look at within brackets, it gives empty. Right? That's the beauty. Pollution has emerged as a significant global crisis driven by the exponential production of synthetic plastics and inadequate waste disposal practices, leading to their accumulation in aquatic ecosystems, urban environment, and even human tissues. Look at APA style, UNAP 2023, the Coffin et al. 2021, even the dot, comma, correct. Now the question is, good sentence. Is there hallucination effect? Which you need to check. Right? So therefore, without checking that, I'm not going to go down. Right? So then I need to, go there, and basically I have to check this, whether it has given the correct or maybe the real reference or not. And look at the second one. Given the pervasive presence of microplastics in the environment and their documented health risks, including the inflammation and potential tissue damage, international collaborative efforts are essential to develop sustainable solutions and mitigation their impact. Gross and then Gudovic 2022. My question is, you need now your flair to select what you should put it into your paper. There are 2, but you can't put both. So instead of 1 and 2 both, now I'm going to weigh which one gives me more chances to be accepted rather than putting both, because both are more or less the same meaning. Now for me, number 1 seems to be better. That is the flair, or that is your experience. If you are a novice into this area, difficult for you to select. So therefore, you must discuss with your other colleagues or with your supervisor. And if you can, out of this, you select the best. But let's say you select the first one. Then the question is it correct? Is this not hallucinated or not? Is something that you need to look at. right? Then what I do, I will be asking now, give me the reference of the above two sentences with URLs and DOIs in APA style separate. I want to check. Then for the first sentence, you see the references are given. All given. I just went to, now whenever you have this, simply just click it. You get the, you can see that this particular paper appears. So therefore that is available, number one. That's why I became that, as I said, correct version. Look at the second one. Coffin S, blah, 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 blah. Correct title, wrong motives. Now it's a hallucination effect. Purposely, ChatGPT is doing this one. Otherwise, they are violating the accepted norms. Like elsewhere papers cannot be, I would say, taken without paying. Some of them. Without their permission, you may not be able to get it. Right? If it is available, yes. For you, you can be able to put it. Let's say in a paper, yes. But this is third party. Somebody is earning money, infringing certain, I would say, the certain authorities. So infringement of another person's, let's say, responsibility is violation. So therefore, purposely, they're doing it. But they have picked up right. And then what you do is, you go to this need to be corrected, but paper is there for the other one. Need to be corrected, but paper is there. So therefore, look at most of the time, hallucination effect is on whenever you do reference. So that you need to remember. Since the papers are given, what you can do, you will be able to find it out easily. What you do is, I will type this, go, and then I will type. I'll show you how you could do it. I'll take only this part. Sorry, not here. Go to Google Scholar, type it, and see whether it says addressing the environmental health. Now we are looking at completely different one, right? Addressing the environmental and health impact of microplastics require open collaboration. There is a paper like this. Addressing the environment, see? But problem is this address. The author names are not correct. So the rest is all correct. So what I am doing is, I'm now taking the correct stuff from this, and I go into the paper and I see that content is right. Assume that even though you put the title correct, names correct, does not mean that the content given is correct. Now, since I have found the right paper, I will open this paper and read, see whether I can be able to find the statement given here. The rapid escalation of my blah, blah, blah. So what is given here? I'm now going to check whether this statement is there. If it is there, so then I will pick up number 1 to be my first sentence under the introduction. So therefore, hallucination effect is always there. So this is how you will basically get rid of, because otherwise you have to read by yourself. Now this would basically guide you. Whatever insight given is usually correct. Though I double check, the content is basically correct, but always what it does is it always masks the right names or the title. That you need to correct by yourself going to this. All right? Okay. So then your first, the sentence of your introduction, pass. I have one. This is we did writing, should the whatever the references found, go one by one, like what I did. So then you can be able to find the introduction part without any issue. I will show you what I did. I took basically 3 hours to finish my introduction. Now this is the paper. Can you see similar? Has escalated into formidable global crisis compounded by exponential production and inadequate disposal of blah blah, all but is given there. Sees UNDP 2022 gross tank, all I corrected. My first sentence done. Same second one. I did all with 3 hours, within 3 hours. Even checking. Under those 6 titles, topics, right? And then you need to include your whatever your objective finally. Say, given the presence of an open dump contributing plastic pollution boundary here, this study explores the relationship between urban waste management practices and the relevance of MPs in the river. Concentration of MPs at various points were analyzed, focusing on size, form, and color, both water and sediment samples. By correlating these findings with physiochemical parameters, research identifies critical pollution zones and offers recommendation for improved waste management policies, which could serve as model for broader environmental conservation efforts. All you write, not in the local taste, but in the global taste. Never say Sri Lankan word. All say that you are doing this, for the global, the picture to be highlighted. If the reader finds out that this has only local in nature, whatever your problem, then they won't accept. So therefore, that's why I have not written, the Sri Lankan name most of the time. But I try to highlight the importance for the entire global community. So it's quite easy. You can be able to do all of these, the references are true. I check one by one, like what I did to you. I did only one part, only this with two. Similarly, you can do the rest. Initially, they have identified the subtitles or the subsection for the introduction. Under that, you ask. Then you can be, automatically you will be filling up your introduction. Okay? Right. Then comes the next question, writing results and discussion. Okay? Then writing these results and discussion, given me 2 sentences to be included into the results and discussion section on the subtopic of total microplastics in water using the following sections. Now this is what I have taken from interpretation of my results. Earlier I told you, I showed you. See this? This is what I put here exactly. Are there MPs of board number 7 different from others? All of them are here, but I put it here on the small part. But entire part is there except this, the code. Code is not necessary. Right? Now, what I want is something is very big there under interpretation. How to make it concise for me to add into the results and discussion section. That's what I now want to do. That's why I asked this question. Now, when you ask this question, look at the results. The microplastic concentration at 0.7 mean standard deviation given was significantly higher than the combined mean of all other locations, suggesting localized pollution likely influenced by anthropogenic factors. Very good result in concise form. All what I got with almost like one page within one sentence. Okay? And all what is required is that statistics. Whenever you say difference, no change, whatever you say in a paper, it has to be put across in statistical way. Otherwise, it is not accepted at all. That is why this says P is less than 0.05. Even the mean values, standard deviation given with P value. So therefore, the person who reads, who has a scientific knowledge, can understand whatever this sentence very clear. Look at the second one. The statistical analysis revealed a significant difference between the microplastic content at 0.7 and the other locations, emphasizing the variability of microplastic pollution across the study area. Second sentence. I asked only 2 sentences. I thought that 2 sentences good enough. So therefore, I got that. So therefore, first part of my analysis, interpretation of results are now concised into 2 sentences that I can put this into my results and discussions. Let's go there. Look at this distribution of microplastics in water and sediment. Say this, MP consider water and sediment samples are presented in table 1 and 2, respectively. That you need to add. Because we have to say that your results. The mean MP considering water across all locations, excluding location 7, was this. A t-test revealed that MP considered at 7 significantly higher than other locations. Similarly, the mean MP. So this is more or less same thing. Right? But if you ask me to get the same wording again, it never happens. You won't get that same wording again. If you ask us, if you give the same prompt, it gives in different, language. So therefore, this is what I got when I did it. But now when you ask for this, similar meaning you get, that's what I showed you earlier. But it may not be the same wording. ChatGPT cannot give you the same thing. Why? It assumes that what he has given earlier might be, might be appearing in the internet. Then if he gives the same thing, plagiarism. Right? So therefore, plagiarism is going to be an issue. So therefore, it gives the same thing with different wording. Right? So therefore, see this part, I got it straight away from that. So then you got this. Then I thought that is too much. Why should put two sentences? Because some of them are bit, repeating. Combine these two sentences and give me one sentence on the end base of the water, but without losing the meaning and statistical significance. That is a very important thing. I mean, general, write-ups won't give you all the statistics. But now we are writing a scientific paper. So therefore, statistically, it has to be represented. That's why that wording, this prompt is important, statistical significance. Microplastic consumed water 0.7 was significantly higher than the combined mean of the other locations, indicating a distant hotspot-like influence by anthropogenic activities from a nearby open dump, highlighting the uneven distribution of microplastic across the study area. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sentence lines. Is it good? Is it good? Not good. 4 lines are too much, right? And then people say wordy, too lengthy. General public or maybe the scientific community may not be able to understand everything. I had to, bring this down. Some would be happy to go for this. Since both are connected, I took a bit of a risk, and then I put this like this, assuming that I may not have any issue with the reviewers. But if you can make it simple, just simply putting into 2, that's my advice. Right? But if I'm trying to go for a lower level, journal, so there this is accepted. But if you are trying, elsewhere journals that are high impact factor more than 5, 6, of course this is too much. Right? Those that is general, the norm is you have to get maximum 3. Right? Rule of thumb is maximum 3 lines. If you go more than that, people say wordy or lengthy. Then you have to, break that into 2. And I ask the same thing. See, give me the same for sediment. Is it the same wording? No. It is not the same wording. Look at microplastic concentration in water at 0.7. That's how you start. First one. Second one, sediment analysis reveal a significant higher concentration. That is very important. Now, if I ask the same thing, truly speaking, you should have started with the same wording. That's what you all do. ChatGPT never, do that. In a paper, you can't put it with the same terminology, same wording cannot be repeated. Right? So then it is not, it doesn't have a very good flavor for the reader to read. So see, look at that. These two are two different, but same meaning, more or less same. So my first 2 sentences of the results and discussion done. Right? Then what I do is I go one by one section by one section, and the interpretation, all done. Right? Not so. When you do something, then comes the discussion part. You do results and discussion together. Now this is results. Where is discussion? Now you need to look at discussion. Give me the similar results from case study elsewhere with references to be included into the discussion part. Now I have done my results. No point in giving only my results, but I need, some other, similar results from somewhere else for me to compare. Either to deny my results, either to support my, results. So therefore, this is what I asked for. Now, what it has given is this comparable results were observed in study conducted on Rhine River, Europe, blah, 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 it has given. And I asked for the reference, Mani, whatever, microplastic profile along the Rhine River. This integrates relevant case study results and add value to the discussion. Let me know if you need more examples. They're asking, do you need another? I'm satisfied with one. Then the question is this reference hallucinated or not? that you don't know how to check it. I did that check. Once it is accepted, my second, let's say third sentence is complete. Then I put this. But can't you say that by the time you go down, your references are also done? One by one, references are done. So it's quite easy. You don't need to do referencing again. You have to pick them up from here and there, and then finally you get the references, right? So therefore, whenever you add your results, discussion should also be done alongside. Then only it will give you the correct discussion. Discussion part you can't do separately. It has to be done, point by point, like what I showed you now. Then comes methodology. Assume that you can keep on doing all analysis part, interpretation part. Then you are done. Basically, that is your results and discussion. So you came out with your results and discussion. That's what I showed you earlier. Then the methodology. Why methodology comes later? Now you will have found or written your results and discussion. Now computer ChatGPT can identify the areas in which you did your scientific work, which is basically highlighted in results and discussion. Now they are going to identify sub areas which you should discuss under methodology. Look at the prompt. Give me sub topics on which I should cover under methodology section of my manuscript based on the attached results and discussion section. Now I finished my results and discussion section. I attached that, and I'm asking ChatGPT to give me the topics under which I should fill in methodology section. It is now giving study area and the sample design. First part should come from that. Second, sample collection. Third, microplastic isolation and identification. Extract process, microplastic examination, polymer identification. Number 4, data analysis. How you did quantification, size and shape classification, color analysis, then physiochemical analysis, and then the important thing, statistical analysis, tools and software used for correlation. What you need to do is one by one you add this in this. Not only that, even next, sources of pollution pathway identification, comparison with the global studies, how you did it, whether you have done the forest flux with meta-analysis, then quality assurance and control, how you did the quality assurance and control, very important, which most of the time you miss. You need to make sure that your data are accurate only by giving some at least 1 or 2 sentences under the quality assurance and control. Limitation, ethical consideration, very important part. Most of the time you write, you are a bit reluctant to write your limitation. Not at all. You need not to be scared of. You have to write your limitation. Now say for me, I can write here that we don't have the provision to do we don't have the access to Raman FTIR to do the microscopic the analysis for microplastics. That I can consider this. I can write under limitation. And the ethical consideration, I have not obtained ethical clearance because this study did not really want, but I have done the similar one. Again, second part I did for the fish, for which I had to get. Without ethical clearance, I can't publish. People are very serious now, right? It's very important, particularly if you just work with humans. Of course, you have to. Otherwise, don't think of publishing now. Never. So, all under these topics, 10 topics, I can write one sentence by one sentence so that my methodology is complete. I have never ever missed a single. That is guaranteed. Right? Then you go to next. Compiling references. Now you got, references still. You need to check whether all references attached are accurate and in APA style. Whatever the style you can ask, right? Depending on your journal. Now it says evaluated references. First one, Abu S 2020. Status, correctly formatted. I have nothing to do with number 1. Recommendation, ensure journal name is italics. So even that they will say. And then number 2, reference, incomplete reference. Why incomplete? And then recommendation. Add volume, issue, page number, or DOI for environmental international example. They are giving me even example to understand. So then I know that I have to work on number 2. Because this is very, very difficult. I mean, even if you go through one by one, you may not be able to see. Because with your naked eye, because you're the one who did this. Only a third party can come and then find mistakes. Sometimes typos, you may not be able to understand. This will, now see, they have identified. Number 3, unconventional format. Why? Follow APPA with all names. I had correct like this. Then number 4, duplicated entry, correctly formatted in one instance. Recommend, remove the duplicate, ensure all components are italics. Now I have duplicated that. So therefore I have to remove. Number 5, missing DOI and page details. And DOI or the page range for plus biology, something like this, right? Including the DOI. So all you can be able to do. And then 100% guarantee that you have the right, details in your references that you can do. Because the authenticity of this you have done earlier. You made sure that all the references are acceptable and they represent what you have written. Earlier you did when you do your results and discussions. But here you have to, check whether they are, presently or maybe appear in correct styles. That's what you are going to check here. Look at this. Avoid ettel in reference. Sometimes we used to put ettel even in the reference, which is not acceptable. We have to, sometimes you have a big name, a set of names, 10, 15. Some accept ettel, some are, we usually won't. So I'm lazy to, write all of them so that I put ettel. So then it has been identified. List of authors and provide DOI if available. This one, number 7, correctly formatted. Number 8, correctly formatted with DOI. Number 9, incomplete reference. Recommendation is provide complete author details, volume, and DOI. And number 10, incomplete citation. This has to be attended. Most of the time, when you send your papers, the reviewers identified that the references are not in proper order. Somewhere you have made a mistake. This never ever allowed that to happen. You see, everything has been very clearly identified. The entire list of your references, they can identify. So then accordingly, what they give you, certain recommendation, do it. And then you are not going to stop there. Again, you put the same references list and see whether each and every reference is appearing here without any issue. Everywhere it has to be say correctly formatted. For each and every the reference, if you get that wording correctly formatted, you are done. There no error at all. Even if you make a spelling mistake, they identify. Right? So therefore, you have no issue at all. Then comes last one, conclusion. Right. So once introduction, methodology, results, and discussion are done with the referencing, proper referencing, you ask for a writing conclusions. Right. Keep this with you whenever you want a proper conclusion. You need these words. Provide is very obvious. Accurate is a very important keyword. Logically aligned is an important keyword. And scientific rigorous conclusion. Scientific rigorous meaning it has scientific content or scientifically expressed. That's why the scientific rigor is very important. conclusion based on the attached manuscript to be included into the manuscript with more key findings. This is very important. With more key findings, but with fewer recommendations. Otherwise, this tend to be more recommendation than findings. So therefore, what I put here from must be your Bible. Whenever if you have to ask for a conclusion. How I got this is actually from ChatGPT itself. I'm not supposed to share with you all, but I can, for education purpose, yes. You never go wrong, right? That is the advantage of working initially. I mean, right at the beginning, you know, and with the ChatGPT 4 because they want more and more, to be included. So since I have been using it quite a lot, I'm a heavy user. They're quite happy, right? The more I use, the more you use, their database would be updated, and they're going to be more accurate and accurate, right? So I'm getting some of this stuff. So therefore, that's why I say that whenever you are to ask for a conclusion, give all of these keywords. This is very perfect. Okay. All what I wanted written here. So my conclusion is done. But if you need number of words, number of lines, you give that also, as a part of the prompt. So it will give you that. So then you can be able to use it. Absolutely no problem at all. Look at the wording. Can you be able to find any ambiguous word? Some say considerable, influential, substantial, large, small. Such words should not appear in conclusions. It has no meaning. What is large to me may not be large to you. So therefore, you shouldn't put it into conclusion at all. So therefore, you have to read it very carefully. No any ambiguous word should be placed under conclusion. Because most of these reviewers read conclusion, right? Provided that you pass in number one abstract, number two introduction, right? If your abstract is wrong or maybe not up to standard, finish. If the introduction is not up to that standard, finish. They won't go into conclusion. You don't want to worry. Whatever you put into conclusion, they never read. So therefore, if somebody goes to conclusion meaning, the chances of your paper being accepted is high, right? Whenever you do, so therefore, we always believe that the reviewer reads up to the conclusion. So then chances are more for your paper to be accepted. Right? So keep that in mind. So you have to make sure that ambiguous words are not included into conclusion. What is the language you write? Is it the present tense or is it the present participle or is it the past or is it the past participle? Present කියලාද has presented එහෙම නැත්නම් had presented. What you use? Most of the time, journals ask you to write in present form. Conclusion. But conclusion is not exactly what appears from your results and discussion. Right? Some people get straight away from results and discussion, key ones, and then you put it. That is not conclusion. That is results. Then why you want to, duplicate? No point. Right? Results is something that you gain from your results. Conclusion is something that you gain from results must be written in present form, sometimes past. It depends, either present or past. But you never, write anything in the present participle, present has presented, has seen, or even the past, participle had presented, had seen. So those are not acceptable. Okay. So therefore, you can get it in no time if you give this. But the success is prompt. You need to, make sure that the prompt is known to you. Then abstract. Now you have done everything. Then comes the abstract. Again, the Bible here is prompt. Look at provide accurate, logically aligned, and scientific rigorous abstract based on the attached manuscript to be included into the manuscript, addressing each key section. You have to give a kind of a prompt hint to address each and every key section, because abstract is a very important part. That is what everybody reads. So therefore, you have to, make sure that look at now results. If you need number of words, 200, 300, whatever, even the lines you can give. It absolutely gives exactly what you want. Okay. Now this is microtastics pollution is a present. In the present logical framework, they have given very clear. So when you read this, must understand again your entire results, or maybe your paper. It's a summation or a concise narration of your paper. Again, remember, you can't put ambiguous words. The high, low, substantial, considerable, those are not accepted in abstract. So therefore, remove all of them if it comes, and always every sentence you must be able to read it. Now, say for me, I'm basically good at understanding all of them. But when I finish my abstract, every the sentence I read basically 3 times, but not at the same time. Maybe after 2 days, maybe after 3 days, because you see something different when you come fresh. Abstract is a very important part, because basically when it goes to, whenever you write, it goes to the main editor or a editor in charge for that specific area. Now he's getting usually elsewhere. I have been communicating elsewhere usually get for high impact now 200 papers per day. Now they have to select out of 200 only 10 they have to remove. 98% they have to remove. How they are going to do? They have to read only abstract. So therefore, we usually call this rejection. This rejection is done based on abstract by many editors. Okay. So therefore, this is the most important part as far as I'm concerned. Now, if the rejection process is successful, meaning that this acceptance is done, 99% of your paper is going to be accepted with minor comments or maybe major comments, no issue. Right? That's what you are going to check every day. When you submit to ASY, you can be able to check the status. If it says still with the editor, your chances are very remote. But if they say that assigned to a reviewers, 99% is have a chance of getting your paper accepted. Right? That is because of you have a good abstract. So therefore, this is a very important. Usually, I will give at least 3-4 abstract. I will ask, and I'm asking again, give me another, scientifically sound abstract. Likewise, I keep changing, and I want to get the best possible abstract all the time. So I'm asking many times to ChatGPT. Then only you're getting the right one. Now this is actually this one. I think I could remember 7th one. But it takes only 5 minutes. But you need to read it, all what you have, into. Right. So that's how you prepare your abstract. Then you are now going to finalize your paper. Right. Prompt: provide me 2 appropriate and simple titles inclusive of all keywords for my manuscript, but ensure that the similar one should not be found on the internet or other journals. Very important. Now all done mine, but I need the correct title. Now look at the two titles: Microplastic Pollution Borderate, Assessing Urban Waste Contributions, Spatial Patterns and Environmental Impacts would be more appropriate. Or even the second one would also be not bad. So that is my final title. I will be getting titles because it has all the keywords that I should include into my title. That's there. Then comes plagiarism checking, paraphrasing, and proofreading. The manuscript. Use Grammarly software, right? So Grammarly software is this much. If you are within the university, it's available now with you know the lady who is sitting here behind me, or maybe by side, Dr. Naini, is the custodian of this one. You can come at any time and then get it done free of charge. They are helping you to understand as well. Or else you need to, buy, I think as well I could remember, $160 per year. Right? So that with that you can be able to do everything. Now let's look at how we are going to do it. I'm taking only a part of that. Let's see. Part of this for the time being, but usually I have to do everything, and let's select only a part. Now I have paid by myself so that I have the paid version. Now what you need to go is I have to open a new version, a new page. Now I'm going to copy here. Paste. Earlier I copied. Can you see that I got everything? Right? Let's say whatever these two areas, I got it. Now what is important for me to do is, first thing is, if you look at this very clearly, now my overall score is 97, fairly good. I mean, to be accepted for a journal, this has to be more than 98. If you can achieve more than 98, perfect. But I think 97 is also not bad. And go to goals. Goals is very important. Now look at this is general, pretty bad. This has to be academic. Type essay, format APA, done. Still my overall score is 97. That's something good. It's not mine, it's actually ChatGPT's. Right? So I pretend that it's mine. And look at, you have a generative AI is already there. But what I'm interested to see here is get the expert writing help. If you want, you can get someone else for you. For that you have to pay. Or plagiarism and AI test check. Now this is something new they have put in. This is what I require. So what you can do is you can do increase your visibility. You can do, wait a minute, then you will be getting something. A lot of suggestions, but that is not now. That is second. So that I'm not interested in this. I'm going again to the next. Dismiss. I'm going for plagiarism and AI text check. Look at what appears in the bottom. We didn't detect plagiarism. Your document doesn't match anything in our reference. 22% of your text has patterns that resemble AI text. I say, supposing without paraphrasing, if I send this one, they're going to be rejected because they know that I have taken from from AI, but they may not find it exactly from ChatGPT, but it's AI generated. This one here, they have identified this, right? This section, see, this section resembles AI. Either you can dismiss, right, or generate citation. If you want, you can put ChatGPT. Oh, I don't like that. But instead of this, what I want is I need this to be, change. Okay, what I do, improve it. You're looking at this. Insert. It improved. Inserted. Finish. Go back. Oh, sorry, not that. Go back here. Check plagiarism and AI text checks. What has happened here? No problem. See, now they cannot identify, right? Now you get another one. This part. Let's say you're going to dismiss, right? You go to this here. This section has come. Okay. What I can do, I can select this, and this one you can be able to, change. Go here. Improve it. Done. Right. Now let's go again. Can you see anything now? No. Look at this. 12% of your text has patterns that resemble AI text. 25 has now reduced to 12. So you do keep changing like this, changing with this grammar, you can do it. And finally, what is important? You have to check. Look at 99% overall score. Even you can be able to see. Characters this much, word, sentences, and then you say word length is 5.7, sentence length above average, word length, okay, sentence length above average, meaning I'm basically writing, lengthy sentence, not me ChatGPT, right? So now they have, if I want, I can be able to, even reduce this. For the time being, that's all right. Now, next, what I have to do is, I'm going to, just check this again. Cut, paste, Now I'm checking grammar. Look at this. Now, when I'm saying as a major accumulation, the word major should not be there. Why? Something to major may be major to you, it may not be for me. So therefore, this I'm going to change. Sediment spelling is wrong, right? So then you can be able to correct here, accept. So then sediment is corrected. Waste management. My English may not be that good, so that you accept, because here there is issue with commas. So then you accept, then it's going to be automatically corrected. Now, whenever you have a blue color underline, meaning it's passive, right? But some of the journals nowadays do not accept passive. Trend is for most of these, like American journals, must go for active. We have to say we did, we had, something like that. Okay, but this is acceptable, of course, no problem for the European ones. So that's why you say you won't get anything other than saying, this I have to again be careful of using major. The rest is corrected. Look at my score, 99. Now, didn't I improve my, the English grammar? And also look at AI plagiarism, I check it, and that's now very much less. So I do that until you get no plagiarism identified. And then there can't be any grammatical error. Okay? If there is something that you need to be changed, you can go here, and then very easily from that you can improve it. Improve it is basically paraphrasing. You can be able to. So now your paper is now complete. All right, your paper is now complete. What is important for you is now Grammarly is fine. Still, you won't finish. Your following action: do not let journals find your AI generated content. So choice is yours. This is the, I would say, sequence in which you have to go one by one, from avoid over reliance on AI output, personalized writing styles, blah blah blah. You go up to this, and this again I got from ChatGPT. So therefore, this sequence you need to do. I've been doing. I've been doing this. So therefore, nobody can be able to find out that you have got anything from AI generated content into your paper. Okay, and of course, hard work beats talent, because you are not talented with your mother tongue. But you don't want to worry. Why? When talent doesn't work hard, you are not talented to work hard, but say hard work beats you. What is your hard work? Is use of the right ChatGPT 4.0. If you use that, don't worry of your talent. You may be talentless, but still you will be getting right product or the output. Okay, so that is my final, advice to you. Well, okay, with that, thank you very much. Now you can do everything. This is all what I know, but I have been doing a lot. You know, nothing that I got from any reviewer. Yeah, but I do my homework very well. Without that, I never submitted. Truly speaking, I need 3 days if I work fully hard. But certain things I know, but since I have been practicing this, but it may take, let's say, 2 weeks for you all to prepare. But that is something useful. If you think of publishing with your stuff, one paper, now you can do 2 papers. That will be good for your, the future career, and also good for you, the supervisors as well. They can get the promotion easily. All right, I think 1 or 2 minutes. Questions, if you have any questions. you can post.
There are several questions in chat line.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You better read it.
What is the point of listing a paper as a reference without reading the paper or finding something to cite by ourselves?
I never say that you can do any referencing or discussion without reading. I very categorically mention whenever you get a paper selected by the ChatGPT 4.0, you have to read it to make sure that what ChatGPT has identified is there. So meaning that you're reading, right? But the question is, do you need the entire paper to be read if you are looking at a particular section, a particular point? So my understanding is that would make your journey easy by saving time, that they will be concentrating on your particular area. Now say if you get the PDF, you have a keyword, just put the keyword and see whether it is available. So that's how I find the content from a paper. But and then I definitely read it, but I never say you shouldn't read, you must read. But this process will hasten that process so that you can save time. Second question.
It's general advice that adjectives should be avoided in a scientific paper, according to many reviewers.
Agreed. That's what I explained. Yes. When you say adjectives, not adjectives, ambiguous adjectives should not be put anywhere in the paper. That's my style. I never use, major, minor, high, low. All of these things should be avoided as practical as possible. Then chances are more. Otherwise, definitely reviewers will pick them up, and then later you have to correct. Whenever you say high or low significant, put it across with significant, with statistics. Then no issue. Next.
So if we create a figure with our own data using AI, will it be detected as AI generated?
Not at all. But only thing is, I don't, advise you to submit AI, generated figures, because they are not in clear form compared to what you get from other softwares. So therefore, visualization, data visualization must be done with other softwares. There are plenty of other softwares are available. Why I use this is because whenever you want to analyze the results, and then when you have to go for interpretation, whatever I showed is more than enough. But whenever you do the final touches, of course, what you come here as figures must be drawn with a separate, or I would say better software.
In the next question, there are several sub-questions as follows. In the first session, why we use Python for verifying? Why is it important? How can we compare Perplexity AI and ChatGPT?
Say, for example, Python is very important because Python is a universal language nowadays. And then you may not be able to understand sometimes if you are not, conversant with the Python, but you have your friends with the code. If you just send, and then they can run the code, and sometimes code may not be 100% accurate. So that's why you have to send it to a person who knows about the Python, so that they will be able to correct it, and then you get the same result. Because as I mentioned, hallucination might be even effective for your results. So therefore, no point in going beyond unless your results are correct. So therefore, you must check with the Python, because the Python code, if you get, very easy for you to check. So therefore, as a habit, always I go for Python code, and then if they are correct, even if you can provide them in the supplementary material, absolutely no problem.
That's all the dear researchers. If you have any questions,
There's another one.
time. So in results and discussion, can we directly say as high or low, or should we mention all average value if there could be more and more value?
Say, for example, if you have a, different values, I would be happy if you can concentrate exactly the right value. Let's say average value with the standard deviation, or a maximum value or a minimum value. But if you say low value or high value, which are basically ambiguous, I don't think that is a good practice. Always concentrate on the right value. If a third party reads your paper, there shouldn't be any ambiguity, or he should be able to understand what you put across. So therefore, that's why always I, reiterate that ambiguity should be avoided as practical as possible. Other question.
Can we use Perplexity AI for this work? Which is better?
For me, I don't use it very much because one thing is I'm not familiar, and if you are familiar with one, it's much more better than uh, you know uh, being a novice for all the other available AI tools. That's what many students do, right? So they are going to be a jack of all trades. I don't want that to happen. I know only ChatGPT 4, but I know it to the depth. That is much more better than groping in the dark with others.
In contrast to what has been said, hallucination are a limitation in LLM model. If it's not a copyright bypass, as mentioned, LLMs can even hallucinate concept and information as well.
Yes, you're right. LN models will always hallucination is there. It is not because that they can't generate the right answers. They can, but because of this legal, the limitations, they are not supposed to do so. That is the very reason for them to, add this effect called hallucination. Unfortunately, we'll have to, accept. But there are ways, by which you can avoid. That's what I have explained today.
So, do you have any questions?
Okay, anybody who wants to, there is another one. Okay, that's not bad. Anybody who wants to ask any questions, those who are in online, time is there. At least one question if you want. Otherwise, we will curtain down everything, expecting you to do more and more papers.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yes.
if there would be more values which are relatively high, I mean, in my research, I'm doing antibiotic resistance of antibiotics. If
Mhm.
there would be more antibiotics are having higher resistance, and some are having moderate resistance, and some are having lower resistance. That is for 6 locations. Then when I'm writing my results and discussion, should I mention these antibiotics are having highest resistance in these locations with average values so and standard deviations? Or instead, is it okay if I mention the name of the antibiotic and saying that they are having high resistance?
The way I understood your question is, I could understand that different antibiotics are, resistive to the people at different threshold levels. Whenever
And
you want to present such, the scenarios, always either go in terms of percentages or maybe go by the threshold levels. Now, usually we present when it comes to the diseases, in usually we go by probabilities, 10 to the power minus 5 or 6, as far as I could remember. If it has a affinity of getting the probability more than 10 to the power minus 6, meaning that it is more susceptible for disease. You have to go by that. Never say that this is high for this level, that is the other one is low for this level, which has no meaning. It has to be based on, basically risk analysis. Whenever you talk of the diseases, risk analysis is a must. I hope you get the answer.
Thank you, sir.
So then many students requested the recording. So then we'll upload this to YouTube. So you have to wait 1 or 2 weeks for that.
Presentation, shall I share with you?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, sure.
I mean, you can ask for the presentation as well. I don't want to keep only for myself. You can keep it with you, but remove my name. No, I'm actually kidding. Don't worry. You can use it, and I'll be sending you the presentation as well. Important thing is keywords. What I put for prompts. Keep those prompts, for you, so then you will be getting more and more accurate answers. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, one question from me, sir. So in ChatGPT, is that always generate Python code, or is it only when we analyze or getting any results based on our uploaded images or something, or do we get always Python codes?
Say, for example, if you request the Python code, then they will give you. But say, I don't know the ChatGPT 4.0 would do using the Python code, but I are basically prejudiced saying that they are using it, because ChatGPT, the non-paid version, yes, it is. They have been using Python, but ChatGPT 4.0 is much superior, but they won't disclose what they use. It may be something else, I don't know. But
Okay,
you
so
can read the Python code without any issue.
Okay, so then that means we need to request Python code for verifying our the data.
Always do it, because
Okay.
it would be good for you to keep it, because as I mentioned, whatever the results you get, you need to verify. The best way of verification would be use of Python code, in the Python, the architecture, and then you will be getting the same answer. If you get the same answer, what the ChatGPT 4.0 given seems to be correct. I always do that. Even I don't know how to use, the Python. I have a very faint idea, a very simple one I can, but complex one I can. But I have, students who have been doing for me. But I'm sending the code and asking them to run, and I send the data, and then they will send me the results. It doesn't take much time, and then I'm comparing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
The researchers will upload this recording to Google Friends YouTube. Then after the research week, and also I'll share presentation, and then after I receive it from sir. Then if you have any questions to clarify or get insight, otherwise we can conclude the session here.
We'll conclude. Otherwise, they are waiting. Time is running.
Yes. So before we conclude, I want to express our heartfelt gratitude to our extreme resource person for sharing your valuable information and their knowledge. All things, so we learn a lot. I think so you all learn so many things with your new experience and do more and more papers. Then, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and your contributions, sir. Then I also want to extend my sincere gratitude and thanks for your active participation, dear researchers. So we'll meet again in January 2025 with an exciting research discussion on all the popular AI tools for the research writing. So till then, thank you so much and take care. Bye. Then we'll meet again January 2025. Thank you so much.